Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go!
I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Jolie twirled a perfect pirouette as she waited for Ivy to get to dance class. Jolie was always happiest when she was dancing. Whether it was gracefully gliding across the dance studio's shiny wood floor in her ballet flats or giving her best performance in her latest jazz routine, Jolie was a dancer. And after meeting her on her first day of dance class, Ivy wanted to be just like her. "Very nice, Jolie," called out her teacher over the music as Jolie leapt and spun through the air. It was as if she was weightless and floated to the ground, landing every move with ease. Ivy just looked on in wonder as she entered the dance studio. "Wow, I hope someday I can dance as well as Jolie," whispered Ivy to herself. Since they had just met, Ivy didn't know just how long Jolie had been focused on dance. She was a little bit older than her and had already been dancing for 5 years, multiple times a week and even on her own at home any chance she got. "Hi, Jolie, you're dancing perfectly as always," said Ivy as she put down her dance bag. "You really think so?" asked Jolie. "I always feel like my pirouettes could be better, more spinny, you know? And I wish I could hold my arabesques a bit longer and keep my toes pointed a little bit more when I do." Jolie was always hardest on herself, but so complimentary of everyone else around her. She knew that the other girls looked up to her, and since she loved to dance so much, she wanted to do whatever she could to make the others love it as much as her. Ivy put on her ballet shoes and started to stretch next to Jolie. Dance was always fun, but the last week had been a little stressful because Jolie and Ivy's teacher would soon be assigning parts for their upcoming recital. They were doing a ballet about a caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. The caterpillar was shy and nervous at first, and then throughout the ballet, it becomes more and more confident until it finally turns into a beautiful butterfly. But as it goes on its journey, it realizes, only at the very end, that it was always the same on the inside, no matter what it looked like on the outside. "Jolie, you're going to get the part of the butterfly for sure," said Ivy as she worked on her plie. "You have just as good a chance as I do," replied Jolie without hesitation. "Your dancing has come a long way, so much since you started just a few months ago. I'm really impressed and so proud of you." Ivy smiled and thanked Jolie, then turned her attention back to her dancing. She knew she had to work hard if she wanted to get a good part in the recital, and that's just what she did. Ivy stayed after class and worked with Jolie and her teacher, trying as hard as she could to improve her moves. But as she worked, there were stumbles, falls, and disappointment as things didn't work out exactly as she wanted them. Jolie and Ivy's teacher could see she was getting frustrated and tried their best to keep her positive. "Ivy, you're doing so great," said her teacher, being as encouraging as she could. "Your pliés are improving, and your arabesques are some of the best in class. If you keep putting this level of effort into your dancing, they won't need me anymore. You and Jolie will be able to teach the class yourselves." Ivy and Jolie's teacher laughed and walked off to get ready to leave for the day. She let the girls have a moment together before she walked them out to their parents, who were waiting outside. "Ivy, I believe everything our teacher just said," smiled Jolie. "And I think you and I would make great dance teachers someday. But for now, we're still learning and we're doing a great job. As long as we're having fun, that's all that matters, because that is what dancing is all about." Ivy loved having Jolie by her side. She always made her feel confident and happy, and the more confident and happy she was, the better she danced. When Ivy was relaxed and having fun, she would forget all about the recital and the pressure of getting a good part. She would block out everything else and just let the music move her. It was then that she danced her very best. Ivy and Jolie walked out of dance class together and asked their parents if they could have a play date to work on some dance moves before their next class. It would be after that class that the teacher would be announcing the parts each of them got for the recital. Their parents said absolutely to the play date, and the girls got together that weekend with one thing in mind: their ballet recital. Ivy watched as Jolie performed each move flawlessly. How could she ever dance that well? Ivy thought. But as quickly as that thought popped in her head, it went right out as Jolie encouraged her more and more. Jolie cheered for Ivy when she did great and told her ways to improve when she needed some help. Jolie was always positive, happy, and supportive. She just wanted Ivy to have as much fun as she was having. And because of that positive attitude, Ivy was. "I really think I have a shot at getting a good part in that recital thanks to you," Ivy said as she leapt across her playroom with outstretched arms, landing perfectly in front of Jolie. "And that is all thanks to you." "No, that's not true. It's all thanks to you and all your hard work," corrected Jolie. "You've been working so hard and it really shows. Your pirouettes are simply perfect and mine still need some work. No matter how long I've been dancing, there are always things I can work on to get better." That's when Ivy found herself in a situation she had never been in before. It was also a situation she never thought she would encounter. Could she do something in dance better than Jolie? It was then that Ivy saw a really wonderful opportunity in front of her. A chance to help Jolie the same way Jolie helped her the first day she joined their dance class. "I'm not even quite sure how to say this. I mean, you're such a great dancer," started Ivy, as she looked at Jolie. "But if you'd like, I could teach you a little secret that I have for landing a really great pirouette." "That would be amazing. Thank you, Ivy," exclaimed Jolie, so excited to learn from her friend. "We can all learn from each other all the time, and I couldn't be happier to learn from you." Ivy smiled, feeling like a real dance teacher. She explained to Jolie that once she was ready to land her pirouette, she should roll her left foot down, bring her body position into a plie, and then put her leg behind her instead of off to the side. Jolie tried Ivy's instructions a few times before nailing it, and as she was working on it, the look on her face made Ivy feel amazing. Even though it wasn't her dancing, Ivy felt like she was because she was helping Jolie and her energy and excitement was contagious. "Wow, you're going to make a great dance teacher someday, Ivy," said Jolie as she twirled around the playroom. "There's no stopping you now," said Ivy with a big smile, so happy that she could help her friend. A few days passed and it was time for dance class again, and time to find out which parts they got in the dance recital. All the girls were excited and a bit nervous as they waited for their teacher to post the recital list after dance class was over. "I hope you get the butterfly roll, Ivy," said Jolie to Ivy as they waited by one of the ballet bars. "You really deserve the part. You made it so far in such a short time dancing. I can't wait to see how good you are next year." "That's so nice of you to say, Jolie, but everyone knows that part was made for you," said Ivy with a knowing smile. "And you'll be amazing." Even though it was Ivy's dream to be the lead in the ballet recital, she knew Jolie wanted it just as bad, maybe even a little bit more, and she couldn't help but hope that Jolie got the part, even if it meant she didn't. Well, Ivy and the other dancers wouldn't have to wait much longer as they heard the door to their teacher's office open. She walked out with a little smirk on her face, so excited to let the dancers know the decisions she had made. "Now, I need you all to know that any of you could have played the lead in this recital, and it was a very difficult decision to make. Everyone will contribute in a major way in whatever role they have been assigned," she said. Their dance teacher loved to dance and was never happier than when she was in the dance studio teaching others. As she looked out at all of the dancers' faces, she couldn't help but smile. "You are all amazing dancers, and it is a pleasure to be your teacher," she said as she posted the list and backed away so each child could find their name. In an instant, there was a flurry of activity and whispers. There were some disappointed sighs, but mostly everyone was very happy and excited for their part. "Jolie, you did it!" exclaimed Ivy, jumping up and down. "You're the butterfly!" Jolie smiled from ear to ear as she jumped around with Ivy and some of the other dancers in her class. "And you're the caterpillar!" exclaimed Jolie back at Ivy. "We get to work together! I couldn't be happier!" The girls danced off together, ready to practice their roles and make their recital the best their dance school had ever seen. Weeks passed and they all worked so hard to perfect their roles. They ran through their dances over and over, tried on costumes, and helped build the sets. Then, before they knew it, the week of the big recital had finally arrived, and their teacher had a special surprise for them. "I am so pleased to make this announcement," said their teacher as she gathered all the dancers together after class. "The recital is so popular that we need to add another show to accommodate all the people that want to see it. So, with that said, we will have our original show on Saturday and another on Sunday. Congratulations, everyone! This recital will be unforgettable. I just know it." Jolie and Ivy looked at each other with wide eyes and huge smiles. They couldn't believe that so many people wanted to see their recital that they had to add another day. While Ivy thought about how she could get in some extra practice, Jolie had another thought. "Where are you going?" Ivy asked as she stood by the ballet bar and began running through her moves again. "Don't worry, I'll be right back. Just keep practicing," said Jolie with a little smile. Ivy wondered what she was up to, but had too many other things on her mind to ask. She went back to dancing while Jolie ran off to talk to their dance teacher. Only a few minutes passed when Jolie reappeared with their teacher. She had a big smile on her face and a little tear in her eye. I wonder what Jolie had asked the dance teacher, you guys. Let's find out. What's wrong? Ivy asked as she stopped dancing and focused on Jolie and her teacher. Nothing is wrong at all, answered her teacher. In fact, it couldn't be more right, to be honest. I'm here to let you know that Jolie had a wonderful idea, and it involves you. Jolie, why don't you tell Ivy? Well, Jolie began, since the butterfly and the caterpillar work so closely in the recital, and because you and I have been practicing together this whole time, and because we now have 2 recitals, I thought I'd ask if it would be okay if we switched roles for the Sunday show so you could be the butterfly. Ivy just sat there staring at Jolie and her teacher. A tear ran down her cheek as she leaned forward and hugged Jolie. You do that for me? Said Ivy through sniffles. I would love to be the butterfly at Sunday's performance. Thank you, Jolie. I'll never forget this. I wouldn't have it any other way, said Jolie, hugging Ivy back. I know you'll do an amazing job, and I can't wait to see you shine. Ivy couldn't wait to tell her parents and brother when class was over that day that she would be the lead in the recital on Sunday. They were all so excited and cheered almost as loud as Jolie and Ivy twirled, leapt, and pirouetted around the stage at the Sunday afternoon recital. It was a huge success for sure. But even more than that, it was a memory and an experience that Ivy would never forget. That leading role gave her the confidence to dance more, and as she did, she set her sights on being a dance teacher when she grew up, so she could share her love of dance with others, making them feel the way Jolie made her feel by giving her the opportunity to live her dream of dancing the lead on stage. Ivy also would never forget the wonderful, empowering, and supportive world that dance was for her, especially with Jolie. She cherished their friendship, and they encouraged each other every chance they could. Ivy also realized that day, as she took her final bow as the butterfly at the recital, that even though she started out as a little caterpillar when she joined dance, she worked hard and transformed into a beautiful, graceful butterfly.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.